love that song, and it is inspirational. But I'll be honest, uh, it was the shout out to Josh and Ida as well. Because they think that every time they need money, they're asking you to bless them. Wait, what did you say? Good morning, good morning. It's an amazing song. When you need to like get your head in the right space, you need to get up and get stuff done after you prayed. It's an amazing song. And if you guys aren't familiar, it is the sister group Mary Mary, and the name of the song is Go Get It. It's an amazing song. How is everybody on this beautiful Friday morning? TGIF. We're about to have the weekend. Well, you guys this weekend. Today is Monday morning for me and the mister. But we had our good weekend. We really did. We had a good time. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, Karina. When I'm ready, I will let you know. So we had a little bit of a switch on the grid at the last minute, but that's okay. That's why we're here. So today we're going to talk about Maggie, and really, this isn't even a talk about the fact that she asks for money constantly. This is about her attitude now. We're going to talk about Amanda Country Girl, obviously Tim and Angela, Christina Nicole, Josh and Ida, Lisa and again her nonsense, Carrie and her illegal gambling on TikTok, and then Jalen. So, who do we want to start with? Let's just start with Lisa because it's not a long thing. I do have some raising the consciousness to do as well, but let's just get her out the way. Lisa is with Nate. One day he's her boyfriend. The next day she's afraid of him and she needs to get away. The next day he doesn't provide jack diddly squat, but she has a place to live. And I will tell you, when you are dealing with a hustler, as she likes to call herself, both men and women, when they are desperate, they will find somebody with what they don't have and link up. Men do it all the time. It was a joke when I was younger where it would be like, oh, it's time to boo up. It's getting cold outside. Men need a place to stay. And so they go find a girl that was on Section 8 or that could pay all of her own bills. And they would shack up and he would love bomb her and everything would be great. And the moment it got a little warm outside, or he didn't want to pay, he didn't want to buy Christmas gifts or Valentine's gifts. It used to be Valentine's Day. They were out. Good morning, good morning. By the way, I know I'm supposed to say this at the beginning. I always forget. So I shouldn't say always. But if you are a member of the team, hit the Daily Heart Me. If not, stick around. Join the team if you feel like you like what you see going on. The only thing I absolutely ask is that every time I change the photo, that you like the live until you feel the heart's tail and then take a break. If you feel like tapping after that, be my guest. But we don't want any broken fingers around here. The two reasons are that it makes sure that the live doesn't get taken down, and the more important reason is that we end up on the FYP and we can educate as many people as possible. So those are the goals. So Lisa is an opportunist, like so many of them are. They will find somebody to become codependent on. They will find somebody who has empathy for their situation. They'll find someone who lives a similar lifestyle, but just so happens to have a little more than they do. And so that's what Nate is to her. Do you honestly think that if she was able to take care of herself independently, do you remember how many years she would be like, I don't want another man, I don't want a man, I haven't had sexual intercourse in 5 years, blah, blah, blah. She was solely focused on getting what she wanted. She wasn't thinking about a man. Correct. Nate is a place to say, Chuck's mother. She's not interested in him. But she's doing what she has to do. As we say, she's using what she's got to get what she wants. And if she has to be somebody's woman to not sleep outside, she's going to do it. If she needs to be someone's woman so she doesn't have to worry about food, electricity, etc., she's going to do it. Which is why it is difficult to find Lisa's rock bottom. Because at this point, she is literally focused on the very basics. She doesn't need a lot. Wait, I'm going back. What did Football Head say? I missed it, Football Head. Sorry. Well, maybe, because why would you take on the responsibility of another human being when you are already living on the breadline, when you are already barely making it? Okay, thank you. So, perhaps. Listen, I know what my gut tells me. He has absolutely no problem with her on TikTok begging. He encourages it. So, there's that. Well, they're eating. They're eating. I've been telling you guys for months. When she says food, it's code words. And I want to reiterate what I said on Wednesday. Do not send any money to anybody on this app, but certainly not to somebody who was using someone else's payment app. Don't do it, because you have no idea. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Erica. You have no idea what's going on with that account. I mean, none whatsoever. You don't know if the local law enforcement is watching, the state, or the feds. You have no idea. So why would you send money to a random person? And we already know that she can't have a CA of her own. Whenever you go in, you'll see that she changes the name to like something Lisa Boo XO, Lisa XO Boo, Lisa are, she'll do all of that. But if you look at the actual account name, very rarely hers. Well, I should say never hers. Not on CA. Good morning. Good morning to everybody coming in. Please be careful with your coins and your freedom. Sorry, that's Kira saying good morning. I found a bunch of their toys. And so they're losing their minds right now. Kira. They're saying good morning. Here we go. Now she wants me to throw the ball for her. It's like I'm telling you I have dogs. So I don't care that people want to black her out. I don't care that people don't want her talked about anymore. I'm not talking about, like, at this point, any and everybody knows what's really going on here. And the people who are sending her gifts where she doesn't have any way to receive them, do you really have that much disposable income? I got a bridge to sell you. Why are you sending gifts to someone who can't get them? What is the point? Of course she was Barbie. And this is also how you know. Because remember when it was like, Hanini's is closing, and I can't get anything to eat? Then suddenly there was a pizza restaurant that stayed open until 2 a.m. And then, before that, I think it was the grocery store. And then it was the pizza place. And now she doesn't even care. Like, she'll come on and be like, I'm hungry. Girl, everything is closed. Princess, maybe. But it only encourages other people who don't necessarily know, or just to be funny. Like, it's not funny. Nothing that has anything to do with her is funny. And I really wish people would stop saying stuff like, I hope you unalive, or go run in traffic, or I understand we're annoyed. But as I say every time, she has people who love her. So our annoyance supersedes the feelings of her children? But again, like the rest of them, they use that for sympathy. So you get your jollies off being able to type, go run in traffic? We need to talk. You need to touch some grass. You need to get off TikTok and go see some things. Talk to some people. Oh, some of what is said is vile for no reason. Again, I don't like her. I want her to kick rocks. And what I mean by that is go get a job. Now, all of a sudden, she's filling out applications. Imagine her trying to work and nodding off in the middle of the day. But remember the last time she claimed she had a job and the boss gave her her phone and she had to get there and she needed an Uber? Lisa is lying. She will say anything because there are people who believe every single word. And let's be clear. I said it Wednesday, I'm going to say it again today. Kim Raya is still giving her money. And remember, Kim Raya used to say, I'll send you money if you get on live and beg. So, If she really stopped getting money on TikTok, or from people who already know the circumstances and just want to see the destruction of a human being, she'd have figured another hustle out. But TikTok remains her hustle. Right. She wakes up when she feels like it. She sleeps when she feels like it, if she sleeps at all. Imagine her with a job. She'd be a mess. So, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all of it, to be completely honest. But please, this isn't a lesson for just her. Don't give anybody money. And I mean in real life, TikTok, Facebook, don't give anybody money to a payment app that isn't theirs. Unless you know, like, okay, it's the husband and it's the wife's payment app. Or it's somebody that you know well enough that you can, like, okay, that's such and such to this person. Right, Barbie? I'm over her. I'm over the circumstance. I'm over her saying that she is for food. Like, I'm over it. But I'm equally as over the nastiness, the unnecessary comments, the vile. I'm over it. I'm over it all. Lone Star, absolutely right that you have that opinion. They're both vile for very different things. Maggie isn't an addict of anything other than TikTok, money, and the stars she's in love with. But they have an equally vile attitude. They curse out their audience just the same. And so, and I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it again now. My aim isn't about them. It used to be. It used to be about getting them to stop. I no longer have that as a goal. The entitlement is unreal for all of them. But that's no longer a goal. The goal now is to prevent new people from giving them money. You know, if you know all the circumstances and you still want to give them money, be my guest. We all had a conversation with Miss May. We were all respectful, which she did say. She didn't feel disrespected. She didn't feel threatened. She didn't feel intimidated. We all had the conversation with her. She went right back to him and supported him. Be my guest. You won't get any more of my breath. But for me, it's the next person. Because Miss May wasn't always a supporter. So I'm hoping to get her equivalent prior to giving anybody money. That is my focus. And that's it. Let's see who's next. Carrie. It is a sad day that the only way you're surviving is by having an illegal gambling, quote unquote, waffle, which is the wheel raffle. Sam, she came back just to say she was doing good. I haven't seen her since. That's the only way. She was, I don't know if she was on today. She was on yesterday and the day before. And you guys know, I find it incredibly unprofessional to come on and tell your audience You need them because you need to pay your rent, which is your motel room. That is not how you come across as an actual professional. Yeah. Sure, Donna. Yep, she was on yesterday. And again, what I don't understand are the mods. So you mean to tell me she has to come on here and cry about how much money she needs, but y'all can stand by and watch her spend $65 on DoorDash? That doesn't make you question the truth behind what she says? And let's be clear, her mom gets a check. And if the reports about her brother are correct, he gets a check too. So is she really the only person responsible for paying their way? No. So why are y'all supporting it? And by the way, it's going to be time for another mod call out, because I've always said this. When people are mean and nasty and vile and are just talking about people because they can, get rid of those. Get rid of those. I don't. But just because someone is asking a question, or just because somebody makes a statement, why do you have to delete it? Literally, somebody will be like, I didn't get my nails, and they will delete it, and she'll be like, stop lying. I didn't even sell to you. You have hundreds of people in your life. You have hundreds of people who have purchased from you. How do you know? How do you know that they didn't sell, that you didn't sell a pair of nails to them? Oh, thank you, Cindy. Good morning, good morning. But it could be a simple question. Block, because they automatically assume that it's meant to expose her. The fact that you need that many mods and that many comments have to get deleted tells you so much about who she really is. Why doesn't she sell on TikTok Shop? I'll tell you why. Because TikTok Shop is going to send her a 1099. She is not running a legitimate business. Now, again, she can doing business as Carrie Walls. She doesn't even have to have a name. I know how all of that works. Does she have insurance? What if someone gets hurt by using her nails? Is she covered? And you could tell me, oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Granny Annie. You can tell that she's listening, because isn't it convenient that after I said that her packaging was terrible and that you couldn't even guarantee that the nails got to the person because it was literally just put inside of a paper bag? Isn't it interesting how quickly the packaging changed? Cindy, I don't know, I'm not her tax accountant, but yep. Now, it's funny because people have been talking about some of the same things I talk about. Never bothered her before. Why are you upset now? Why are you trying to raise the bar now? And you notice in the new packaging, she does not put it to her face, her lip, nothing. Her name is Carrie Walls. She is the person who sells janky nails. The easiest thing to do would be to sell them on TikTok Shop. You're already here. You know how many businesses actually started on TikTok? And then someone was like, wow, it's high. And she's like, well, if it's high, don't buy. You notice how she's changing the price of her nails? Now she has $50 ones and $60 ones and $80 ones. Interesting. Gracie May, she gets so much money off of that waffle illegal gambling she does on TikTok, which anytime I come across her, I'm reporting it 110%. Because it isn't even fair. It's whatever random amount she comes up with. If you put in $30, I'll give you 15 spaces. But then someone who gives her 20 will get one space. How is that fair? How is that fair? I know, Missy Muffy, I don't care. I don't care. By the way, still no response from TikTok on the letter. And of course, dead smack in the middle of the live, I need to come up with my rent money, y'all. And I actually put in her chat, so unprofessional. Jenny, there was a time that she was doing that at a much higher pace. She's upgraded herself because her reputation took a huge hit. Some of the nails, if you take pictures of them and do a reverse search, oh, thank you for the corgi. If you do a reverse search, they come up on other websites. So the question is, did she do them? Or she'll get nails done and then she'll add a couple of trinkets and then sell them and say that she made them. She would also say shipping is $10 and then people would get the package and the shipping was $5.75. There would be people who she said they were acrylic and they were able to bend them and break them with their bare hands. Now, other people have gotten higher quality nails. But just like the other day, she said, I guarantee they will fit. How can you guarantee that? Jenny, I showed how she could get all the equipment from Shein. Cost her about $20 to make it, and she sells them for $100. Well, sometimes she sells acrylic and sometimes she sells builder gel. But when I did my own research, builder gel is better for press-ons than acrylic. Acrylic is really made for when you go into the salon and they put acrylic on your fingers. But if it's going to be something that's reusable, that's flexible, builder gel is actually better. So why does she go back and forth? Pick the lane that you're in and stick to it. If it's builder gel, just say builder gel. But she knows that people are accustomed to acrylic. And again, when she tries to compare Well, if you go to the salon, it's going to be 130. Yes, because I'm paying for more than the nails, Carrie. They actually, oh, thank you, Cindy. Just so you guys know, gifts are appreciated, but not a requirement in any way, shape, or form. I do use them to bless other people doing the good work, but I appreciate it. When you go into a salon, for one, they're doing all of the work. For two, you have multiple opportunities to get services, whether it's a pedicure or your eyebrows or a waxing, which means they need to maintain all of that equipment. They have insurance, they have rent, they have electric. Some places they have water. They have to re-up on their equipment, and all you have to do is walk in and sit down. So for her to say that her nails should be treated as the equivalent, no ma'am. No ma'am. Right, and pay their employees. No ma'am. It is not the same. Especially when there's no business for me to go after if something goes wrong. But I'm going to sue you personally, who has nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. And suing her, you have nothing to gain. Good morning, Disturbed One. So, miss me with it. But let me give you this piece of advice. Don't say a peep. Don't ask a question. None of it. Because she has enough mods to cover 10,000 people, and they will absolutely block you. Oh, Granny Annie, thank you. So keep going, Carrie. I'm going to keep watching, and I'm going to keep bringing attention to you. That was pretty. Who's next? Let's just get it out the way so her people can go ahead and leave. Now, I don't care how you feel about Maggie, whether you find her funny, whether you are a part of the MAGA family, the Maggie family, whether you believe in what she does. You cannot tell me that you think that her attitude about it all is justified. Yes. Oh, hey, Princess Peaches, I'm sorry that I missed you this morning. Yes, tap, tap, tap. We have changed the photo. You can't in any way, shape, or form tell me that you think that her attitude about it is correct. And I, again, do not understand why people send her more than a penny. Y'all realize she gets a Social Security check. Her rent is next to nothing. She gets EBT. She would qualify for a government phone. She has 2 bills, her cell phone and her electricity. Why do y'all need to pay that? Oh, it is a government phone? Okay. Why do you need to pay it? I believe it Texas girl. They have. At least she used to dance and be funny. Now it is literally an attitude from the time she gets up until the time she goes to bed. And there are times when she's up in the middle of the night begging. Like literally her entire platform is begging to pay a bill to go somewhere. Then she goes live from said event like she's doing you a favor. Who wants to see Trey Songz 3 times in 1 year? Who wants to see him once a year? He's a has-been. I'm sure she is. And she needed a shirt. And she needs this. And pay her bills. You know what's funny? People are going to go broke behind her. And she's going to have a bank account full of money. There's no way on God's green earth that she needs this much money every single day. Yeah, $80 for fruits. I was there for that. She was like, it's fruit with an S. It's more than one fruit. Right before she got her EBT. It was either right before she got her EBT or right before she got her Social Security check. They are disturbed one. Everybody around her has to be delusional. She lives a life that the people who send her money dream of. Now again, I'm happy for her that she gets to do things that would have been outside of her ability to do so on her own. Right? But this girl is flying all over the place, taking buses all over the place, getting VIP tickets. Now, you know it's raggedy when the VIP ticket is $60. Like, you're either in a little club or something like that if the VIP ticket is $60. And what are you getting for it? It's because she wants to be able to meet them. And that's cute. But what happened to saving up so that you could go where you want to go? But it's the, you wasn't going to send anything anyway. Mute them, block them. Oh, you want me to unmute you? Send in. And then somebody will be like, man, she'll be like, I wasn't talking to you. Thank you for the $1. And y'all think it's normal? That's normal to you? Libra King, I agree wholeheartedly. But there was a moment in time where I didn't think Maggie knew. I felt like it was the enablers, the mods, all of that were making it happen. Of course, I don't believe that anymore. Kayla, TikTok has turned a blind eye to this nonsense. I think because she makes TikTok money. By the way, can someone pin that? This is my backup account. If ever we are taken down, that is where the live will go. So please follow it. Listen, anybody who supports Maggie, whether it be financially, whether it's that you're begging for her, whether it is that you sit in the box and find her money while you collect gifts, the entire system needs to come down. And I know she's gotten away with it this far. How long did it take for them to go to after Slot after it was $1 million? You think they didn't know about Slot at 100,000? You think they didn't know about Slot at 500? Okay. Now, granted, the feds have a lot on their hands right now. But that doesn't mean that they aren't watching. You just aren't the priority in this moment. Thank you, Jody. I appreciate it. I'm watching, taking notes, and getting up here for everybody else. You think I wouldn't love to sleep in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Especially Wednesday, when I don't have to be up early with Mister. But I'm passionate about this. Most of us have either been scammed by somebody or a company. Like, you know how I got scammed on TikTok one time. By the way, when you see those commercials on here about a great product at a great price and it takes you outside of TikTok, don't do it. Don't do it. When I saw a body pillow and I was like, for that price, great. It took me out of the app, and I'm like, okay, promoting on TikTok, no problem. Purchase the body pillow. Now, of course, it should have been, if this is too good to be true, it probably isn't. But I was dumb in that moment because I wanted a body pillow. The next thing I know, they had charged me $90 randomly. So I called them and I'm like, what is this? They were like, oh, you signed up for like a program where it will allow you to continue to buy things at a discounted price. But the discounted price wasn't even as good as Amazon. So why would I spend $90 to buy product from a company that is still charging me more than I could get at Amazon? Let's just say I got all my money back. He tried it. But he didn't like when I said, well, let's get the Attorney General involved. I got all my money back. And so I said to him, am I going to get my body pillow? And he was like, yeah, they refunded that money too. Because it was a scam. I've had men on here and every other app try to scam me. So when it comes to this thing of taking advantage of other people, I don't like it. So if I gotta be the one to stand in the middle and shout from the rooftops, guess what I'm gonna do? And there's nothing you can do about it. I know I'm lucky. Wait, what did you say? Fact, Jody. Sometimes before I did this, I used to play along. I used to play. Did she scam me? No. Absolutely not. But she scammed a lot of others. And now what her and her people are doing by threatening people who talk about her, people who used to be friends with her, supported her when they thought she was deserving, Candy especially, and Peaches, no. You have changed the level of your deceit to criminal when you are threatening people's lives. All because they chose to walk away from you and then tell the truth about what was really going on. Isn't it interesting that the CA she had been using for months is no longer available to her? I wonder why. I'm waiting for that story to come out. What happened, Shirley? Or was it Shirley? It was Shelly, whatever her name was. Shirley Bees or whatever it was. What happened? Because that was her business account. You put your business CA up there for her to use to get money? Okay. Okay. I wonder what happened. We'll see. But that's that on that. As soon as I saw this face pop up yesterday, I was like, we already know where we're going. So many of them only pop up when they need something. And she's one of them. She came on yesterday. Was it yesterday? Or no, day before yesterday. Asking for $20 to get something to drink for her husband, and her 2-year-old. What's wrong with water? Janice, they're around. She goes and visits them, I think, like once a year. They exist. But why do they need to take care of her when she has 2 apps taking care of her? What's wrong with water? Then it became she needed sugar so that she could make like sweet tea for them to have something to drink. Again, what's wrong with water? And I was like, but even still, $20, sugar does not cost $20. Like, I don't even, is the sugar at BJ's $20? Like, then it was something to drink and snacks. Girl, bye. Now, when she first came back, I was like, here we go. Somebody stole her food stamp card. But that wasn't that. And she claims that her food stamp card is locked. What day is it coming? The 13th? I think I wrote it down. Let's see. And for her, it's always food. Food, drinks, something. Did I not write it down? I didn't write it down, but I think it's the 13th? The 13th. Okay, thank you, Granny Annie. We'll see. She claims that it's locked. And somebody told her, make sure that you keep it locked until you actually get to the store. Izzy, it depends on the state you're in. Now states are giving it on any day because it used to be a rush on the grocery stores the 1st to the 3rd everywhere. And they couldn't always keep up with that. So now they're having it done on different days so that it's not that rush on the grocery store. I don't know if Maggie is live or not. I haven't seen anything that said she was live. Fam Bam, they got serious about monetized accounts begging. So if you're a monetized account, you can't beg for Jack Diddley Squat. Or you could lose your monetization. You also can't beg while also doing TikTok shop selling. Happened to a guy the other day. He was like, if you can't send me money directly, buy this ring lamp because I'm going to lose everything. And people did, thinking they were supporting him, and TikTok took every dime that he would have earned. They took every dime. But they haven't gotten around to the straight beggars. So then she said that the next day she was going to clean a friend's house, and so she would get money, which would have been yesterday, but she needed to get through the night. What is wrong with water? Like, does your little girl not drink water, which means you're setting her up for failure in life? Wait a minute. Who muted that comment? Y'all know I want to see the comment before anybody gets muted. Unmute whatever that person. Unmute the person, because I don't want anybody muted until I say so. I don't know what they said, and so I can't respond to it. All I saw was after you're live, and that was it. Don't mute anybody until I've... All you got to do is pin the comments. That's okay if it was a scam page. Let me address it. Yeah, always pin a comment. I don't care what they say. Chill, I'll look for it, honey. No problem. Because we don't do it the way they do it. We don't do it the way they do it. Everybody gets addressed around here. But don't worry about it. I know you guys are just protecting me and the live, so... My question is, her husband is on Social Security. Why doesn't she have a job? She gonna say it's because of the 2-year-old? Your husband is home all day. Put her in daycare and go get a job. Like everybody else does. But this thing with her food stamp card will be around on the 13th or the 14th. And what she will do is she also begs on Facebook. She also begs on Facebook. So it's not just a TikTok thing. Oh, because of her daughter's disabilities. Does the daughter get a check? I just did, Janet. And All For One says he's working on a live about her. So I just talked about Maggie. So we'll see on the 13th. Well, I should say on the 14th. 15th, 16th. What comes of it. As if we don't pay attention. I'll be looking for her. Now, I'm trying to decide the order. Wait a minute. So the other day, I talked about Josh and Ida while Ida was sitting in the chair. And she was acting so stressed out. And it's the end of the world. The thing that pisses me off about them is they downplay the fact that they've been begging for the better part of 2 years. And I'm not talking $20, $30. I'm talking in the hundreds of dollars every single time. And then it's like, well, we hit a bad patch. 2 years of a bad patch? 2 years of a bad patch. And the bad patch happens every couple of months. So their amount went from, wait, is this from the other day? Okay, so this was post the live. So this must have been Wednesday. They didn't seem so stressed on Wednesday. Everything was fun and games. They were joking. But they were quick to delete comments that they considered rude or negative. But some of them were just asking questions that would have gotten to the truth. And that's when she said that she wasn't selling anything. Because they weren't giving up on themselves. That they finally had 1,000 followers on YouTube and how difficult that is. And that they are destined for greatness. And that they had spent their hard-earned money on the equipment. So why would they sell it? And my question is the money you're getting from other people not hard-earned money? I couldn't believe she actually fixed her lips to say that. So you won't give up something that you spent your hard-earned money from, which you didn't, some of it wasn't even your hard-earned money. The computer was purchased by your people. So you won't sell anything that your hard-earned money paid for. But you're here to take money from other people? Is their money not hard-earned? Because again, I don't remember anybody who is a what do they call it? A Nepo baby on here giving you money. And if they were a Nepo baby, somebody worked hard to get that money. So regardless, the money was hard earned somewhere along the line. It's okay for you to take other people's hard earned money, but you're not going to do anything to help yourself? Again, mods, how do you sit there and hear that and think, that's great? You're right. Don't sell any of your stuff. Just ask TikTok for it. Oh, hold on. I got to do the puzzle piece. And if it's not perfect. And my thing is this. The algorithm can't hear me talking. They can't see the comments going. Why do I have to do a puzzle piece? So I asked this question. I said, is it fair that Josh quit his job to pursue his middle school dream, but you expect people to send you their hard-earned money? I was immediately muted by Josh. I don't even think she saw the comment. The hypocrisy of you not being willing to sacrifice for your own dreams, desires, and needs, while at the same time expecting your supporters to sacrifice their needs, wants, desires, dreams, etc., is laughable at the least and should be criminal at the most. Do you not think that the $20, $30, $100 that they send you couldn't be put to better use in their own life? Whether it's bills, food, vacation, rainy day fund, 401k. They're not, philanthropists. They're not just out here, you know what, I'm going to put $100 a month to the side and I'm going to wait for Josh and I to need money and then I'm going to send it to them. That is never the case. The case is that people think, oh, they could use it more than me. But ask Josh and Ida the last time they sent somebody some money. And the fact that the both of them each have a part-time job, which is what Josh said yesterday. That's one job. What do you mean dual income? Remember when she was like, we are a dual income family. How did you think we got the apartment? 2 part-time jobs while there may be 2 checks is one job. It's one paycheck. Because you both could be working full-time and then you'd have the money. Now, nobody told Josh to make that video where he said he was quitting working to pursue his dreams. He did that. And I told y'all when I saw it, they were going to try to come back later and be like, well, that's not exactly what we meant. He said that with his whole chest. Dead serious. There wasn't any music in the background. She wasn't sitting there laughing and giggling like he was. Girl, your man is not profound. Okay? He is leading you into the gutter. I just want you to know. From someone who's lived more life than you have. He's leading you into the gutter. Mind you, they could be donating to a charity and getting a write-off. They don't get to get a write-off. Oh, thank you. They don't get a write-off for sending you money. They don't get a benefit on their taxes sending you money. You have 90,000 followers. And without us, you'll have 25 people in the live. Does that not tell you something? At 90,000 followers, you shouldn't have any problem getting 1,000 people in your live on any given day, at any given time. Thank you. Thank you for the gifts. But you can't get 25 people in there? I think people have gotten tired. And I wish if you were tired of them that you would unfollow. Thank you, what is it? Rochester Goat. Here we go. Okay, Kira. And by the way, they love to talk about how we get gifts. First of all, Josh and Ida, I don't just cover you. I cover... Oh, here she is. Kira says she's in agreement. You're okay. Yes, you are. So, I actually work harder than you do. I work harder than you do. You come on and just say, I need, and I need, and we're destined for greatness. And my husband loves me. Even though I'm a little fluffy, he loves all it is. But please send me money. Or your content is battling. Or your content is playing a game. I don't just wake up in the morning and think, what am I going to talk about today? Who am I going to talk about today? I actually have to watch, take notes, prepare. And just because I talk about these 8 or 9 doesn't mean that I haven't watched others. These are just the people I chose to feature. That's for one. For two, I then do all of the photos, the things that I put up here myself. All of the research I do myself. I do a lot of verification behind the scenes. I'm in other people's lives being supportive. I'm reposting posts that I connect with. All of that while still having everything else in my life to do. So if you can get money by just sitting there and begging for it, don't come for me. Oh, and then I do 9 hours a week. Sorry. How could I leave that out? And then I get up here and talk for 9 hours a week. And some days I do the entire 3 hours by myself. And then I have everything else in my life to do as well. And keep a man happy. So don't come for me. Don't come for me. You in your part-time job don't do as much as I do on this app. White Sox is outside, thankfully. I opened the door on the patio so he can go outside, so that we wouldn't have a bunch of drama in here today. So, no White Sox. Kira is free to be herself. Wait a minute. What did Martino say? Bloop, 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 bloop. Oop, no. Oh, okay. So, Martino, let me answer your question myself. I appreciate everybody answering the question for me, but let me just answer it myself. So, my name is Digital Deceivers Shadow. These people use technology, that's where the name digital comes from, to deceive people out of their hard-earned money, their social security. They will take your very last so that they can live the life they want to live. These two in particular are both young, healthy, able-bodied individuals that each work part-time, and anytime they need money for anything, they come to TikTok to beg for it. And they've been doing it for the better part of 2 years on TikTok. So they've had a van purchased because they could do DoorDash, and then they never did it. They got them to buy them a computer so that he could get a work from home job. Instead of doing that, they attached it to the Xbox, and now they have a Twitch and a Kick account, and they play games. His dream is to be a content creator. If you go to their page, which I have listed right here, you'll see where he says that he quit his job to be a full-time content creator. But the house they live in was sold and they have to move. So they are literally begging for $2,000. Not 20 or 30. 2,000 so that they can move. What man do you know won't get 3 jobs so that his family isn't homeless? I know it is, Willow. I know it is. But the ask was 2,000. The ask was 2,000. Good morning, Free Sassy. And if it was just this couple doing it, perhaps you might think, well, it's thousands of people all around the world have seen. Well, they haven't gotten it yet, Natasha. And I'll explain that in a second. Are using TikTok for that purpose. It would be the equivalent of me gaining this following and then coming here and being like, guys, I know you love me, but I've run into a bind, and can you send me $600 because I haven't paid my electric bill in 5 months. I'm not asking you to give me your last, and anything you give me is a blessing from God, and I'm gonna appreciate it. Thank you, Natasha. I would really appreciate it. Can you please help me? And then do like somebody said, the moment someone is like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? I just explained it. Send in. And if you don't like it, leave. Block me and you'll never have to see me again. But send in. Or if you're like, well, what do you need the $600 for? Block them. Block them. Why do you need to know what it's for? I'm just telling you I need it. That's why. Because there are good-hearted people that come on this app every single day. They're looking to connect to people. And these scammers will call everybody family. Oh, y'all are my family. You're my family. Or, we've been praying to God and we know God is going to put it on your heart to bless us. Happy Friday. They wrap themselves in the Jesus cloth and say, please help me, please help me. You will be a blessing from God if you help me. For them to come, for this particular couple to come back a few months later for something else. They just paid their $600 electric bill of like a month or two ago. And before that, it was the rent. But they both have part-time jobs taking care of his mother. His mother. They're not out there pumping the... And then, where they're moving to that they need this $2,000 for, the mother is moving in. I wonder why. Because she gets a check. And now, they don't even have to leave the house to get paid. They also got a car. Because they said that they were going to do DoorDash so that they wouldn't have to beg on TikTok anymore. They did it for a day or two and then said there isn't enough business around, that we're spending more money in gas than we're making. Did they sell the car and give people their money back because it didn't work? No. And now, even though they didn't pay for said computer, they won't sell it so that they can move. But she damn sure isn't going to be homeless. So you're going to pay up. Because I'm not going to be homeless. I'm not going to do a full time. And both of their kids are school aged. So it's not like they have a baby at home. They already get EBT and Medicaid. And I wouldn't doubt if they don't get rent assistance. But you can do everything else but work. You can beg but work. And by the way, for anybody recording, you can take that clip and be like, look, she's begging for money. Everybody knows that I was only simulating what they do. So don't try it. At least not with the people who already know me. They know I'm not on here doing that. Pink Panther, because they lie. There was a young lady that did a video this was a few weeks ago, but she did a video and was like, why do you feel like you gotta be honest with the federal government? Just tell them you're homeless. Just this, just that. And of course it went viral, and somebody reported it to her local DSS. Not only did they tell her that she owed them $35,000 in the food stamps she had gotten, but they also sent it to the Attorney General, and they're prosecuting her for her falsifying documents and getting that money. So it can be anybody's turn at any time. And now she's on TikTok complaining about how she's going to come up with that money. Did you care when you were spending it that could have gone to a family that was truly in need? No? Now, let me be clear about something. If you qualify, go get it. You qualify for food stamps, go get it. You qualify for housing, go get it. You qualify for Social Security, go get it. I am not suggesting that people not get government services. I am the opposite of that. Correct, Princess Peach. It absolutely is. Don't you see on government, like if you get Medicare, I think, and they send you the information, it's always something on there like, if you know about fraud, please report it. Because people are taking advantage of taxpayer dollars. So when you go to work every day and you get your check and 50% of it is gone because of taxes and Social Security and this, that, and the third, you don't feel like it should be done honestly? Oh yeah, Pink Panther. But let me tell you something. It is unfortunate that the people who actually need it are going to lose benefits. But I hope it includes the people who are taking advantage of the system. Correct, Natasha. And I used to say this. I haven't said it in a long time. The scammer who's getting benefits that are taxpayer provided are already getting you once. Because you work and pay your taxes to allow them to sit at home and do nothing. That's for A. And some of these people have never worked. So they've been getting Social Security damn near their whole life. That's the first time they get you. Then, when you get home after cashing your check, they want a part of that money too. So they want your pre-tax dollars or your tax dollars and then your after-tax dollars. Correct, Mama Bear. They'll deny you for $1 over. It's not like they'll be like, oh, well, you're $1 over, so we'll just take $1 out of the food stamps. No. So they want your tax dollars, your after-tax dollars, and some of them a lot of them are bold enough that right after January, they start pressing hard for your tax return. They literally will say, I thought you'd give more. Isn't it tax time? So anybody who's like, why are you doing this? Like, who are they hurting? People are giving their money freely. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to the person who is thinking about it, who feels obligated, who feels like they're helping somebody. And you know why? Because if they were helping them and they never came back to TikTok, cool. But these two come and come again and come again and come again. Yes. Correct, Cindy. And again, it is not like it's wealthy people who have this much disposable income to give to them. There was a father, a single father with 2 kids, that felt so bad for them that he wanted to give them his money. Why? Who helped you when you were struggling, sir? Because you said you were struggling. And they were like, no, we don't want your money. Let me tell you something. If he sent them $20, they wouldn't have sent it back. They say that to sound good. They don't care if it's coming out of your Social Security check, your rainy day fund, if you got to take it out of your 401k. They do not care because they want you to believe that you doing that is a blessing from God. And God is going to bless you. And then you'll be destined for greatness. I don't need to give you a dime for God to bless me. And as I say all the time, there is somebody in their family or their community that could use that money, where they could see where it's going and what it's being spent on. But they wouldn't spit on them. But they'll send money to these 2 grown, able-bodied adults who have decided that they're going to be content creators. And again, if you go to their page, they have 90,000 followers. But can't get 25 people in there when they're talking and begging. Can't get 25 people in there when they battle. So then I saw when the other day somebody was like, what about your like deposit from this live? From this apartment. And I don't know if they hadn't thought of it or if they were lying and they knew they had it. I don't know. I know, Paige, I did Maggie. You mean Maggie Foster? I did her a little while ago. And apparently All For One is working on a live about her specifically. So I cover her too. Just for anybody that just came in, let me show you. These are the 8 people I'm going to talk about today. So don't think I'm picking on one because you just came in and spent 10 minutes. Good morning, good morning. I hit between 8 to 9 people a day. And don't worry, I won't run out of people to talk about. Tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern? Okay. So anybody that wants to be a part of the All For One Maggie Foster Live, 7 p.m. tonight for All For One. So after they were promised their deposit back, they were now down to $8.99. I can't stand Tristan Pizza. There are several scammers I just can't watch. I just can't. I cannot do it. Cindy, you are correct. It does work. We just have to stay patient and consistent. But then it was interesting because before it was the 31st. The 31st was the deadline. Well, suddenly yesterday the deadline became the 16th. And I was like, where did that come from? Okay, Grinch Mob. Checkmate is doing Tim and Angela, who I call TNA, at 8 p.m. tonight Eastern. Thank you. So, it's not just me, y'all. I just happen to do it early in the morning. So, this is what was interesting, though. So, they have to be out by the 16th. They got the U-Haul scheduled for the 13th. And they're going to be bringing their items to storage because they can't get the apartment before the 1st. Are they going to be living in said U-Haul? Are they going to be living in said storage space? Are they going to be living out of their van? Of course not. They're going to stay with family. So my question is, why didn't you go stay with family until you got the money for the apartment? Why is it TikTok's responsibility to pay for you to move? He will often say, we don't have family we could go to. You've worn your family out. But if we don't forget, when they needed the $600 and the electricity was out, weren't they staying with family the entire weekend? They didn't seem uncomfortable to me. Now, of course, there's nothing like sleeping in your own bed, but it's better than being in the van. We all knew you weren't going to be homeless. So why are you using that line on your audience? They were down to 899 as of last night. Me too. My spidey senses go off immediately. I could literally watch a minute or two and already spidey senses are going off. They've always had family to turn to. So, for them to believe that it is okay for them to only have to work part-time, and whenever they come up against an expense, and by the way, rumor has it that when the landlord told them that the house was being sold and they had to get out, the landlord didn't require them to pay rent. Scammeritis. Yeah, I have a list of illnesses. Where is that list? It's far back. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. And by the way, I take notes. I'm not just saying whatever. I actually take notes every time I'm watching. Now, some things I can just remember. So we got scammeritis, diabetes, Scammers R Us is where they shop. Beg be gone, scam be gone. Those were the treatments. Stage 4 gluttony. We done came up with some good ones, y'all. So, miss me with the BS. You guys want to have something? And she's like, we're going to be famous. You're going to be infamous. Because God doesn't like ugly. God doesn't like people that take advantage of others. That Japonica, the job is taking care of his mother. And they split it between themselves. So they each have a part-time job. So together they make up one income. And in order to get this place that apparently is bigger, they had to move mom in and use her income. So now they're going to live with their job and also use her Social Security to pay the bills. Somebody makes sense to me. And mom probably, depending on if it's a disability related incident or if her Social Security check isn't big enough, mom might also get EBT. But let's see how it all changes when all of it is put together. Because if she's living with them, then they do EBT and Medicaid based on household income. How many people are there and how much money is there. We'll see if they're able to keep it then. Yeah, and they're like, we're going to go live to prove to everybody that we're actually moving. Why would I care? Because it doesn't matter to me if you are actually moving. They want to say they're not scammers because they do with the money what they ask for. The scam part of you is that you feel like you don't need to work in order to live the life you want. The scam part of you is that when people ask for receipts that would truly determine what you're all about, you don't provide them. The scammer part of you is that instead of being willing to sacrifice any of the things that you could get money for, you tell us no. But you want us to give you our money. So you can say you're not a scammer based on the pure definition of the word, but you were on the scammer list. You are on the scammer spectrum. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my page. It's pinned. It's called the spectrum of scamming. And they are up and down the list. KK, I don't know how they're going to do it. But they'll figure it out. Because that's what scammers do. Okay. So, last minute, I had to add her to the list. And I'm going to be honest, y'all. When I saw her come on that late at night, I was like, that's interesting. And then as soon as I saw she was crying, I was actually on the phone with my niece. And I'm like, watch this. She was like, what? I said, the beg is coming. She was like, how do you know? I said, just watch. Just watch. She hadn't said a word yet. And I knew it was coming. All she was doing was wiping her eyes. And I was like, here we go. So of course people are like, hey, how are you? And she's like, I'm not doing good. I've been better. I've been better. Now my problem is that the story she told last night is so similar to the story she said a few weeks ago. Does a man actually exist? So this was last night's story. Now, remember, a couple of weeks ago, she was with a man that she's known practically her whole life. And he supports her and he cares for her. And they stayed up all night long talking and getting it in. And she dropped him off to where he lives, which isn't his own house, but his cousin's house. And he worked all day and she was supposed to pick him up. And within days, the relationship was over and he was a piece of trash. And then about a week or two ago, she did it again. I'm with a man. I've known him my whole entire life. Remember I told you when she was like, he stands up for me? And I'm thinking, how? And she's like, he told my son said something to me or did something, and he told my son. And I'm like, why is the man you're just now getting with addressing your children at all? Why? I wish a nigga would. Excuse me. Sorry, that just came out. You don't get to address my child until you have established a relationship with my children. So, sorry, y'all. That was a natural slip of the tongue, because that's how I feel about it. I wish you would. So she's wiping her eyes, and I'm like, 3, 2, 1. So this new guy that she's known her whole life, but she's only been dealing with for a couple of weeks, she loaned him money. Ma'am, what? What you mean you loaned him money? Because every time I turn around, you're on TikTok begging for money. So how do you have money to loan anybody? So she loaned him money. Now this is before she says what she needs. This is the story. She loaned him money when he was supposed to pay it back, and she asked for it. He took off and never gave her back the money. So much so that she said yesterday she called him 40 times and sent him 10 messages, and he's been ignoring her. And then here we go. Now I have to come up with the rent money in a couple of days, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. What? You want me to sit here and believe that you gave a man that you just started dating in the last couple of weeks your rent money? And not only that, apparently he stole her pew-pew as well. Now, this is what I also found interesting. When people asked her how much she gave him, she said, I'm not going to tell you. What difference does it make now? But then she told us she needed $250 for her rent. If we know how much you need, then people will make the assumption that that's how much you gave. So why, I know she did later on, but why wouldn't she say it at the beginning? Bonnie Jean, nothing more is more embarrassing than coming to TikTok and needing money again. Having to beg again. If you're embarrassed about loaning somebody money, don't loan it. Because the rule of thumb is you don't loan anything you can't afford to use. To lose, I'm sorry. You don't loan anybody money that you cannot afford to lose. So she knows when her rent is due. She's already told us that her landlady doesn't even want her there. Hiked up the rent because she doesn't want her there. And now you let somebody borrow that money? And then she said, and he knows that by taking that money, that it's not just going to be me that's homeless, but my kids. You didn't think of that? You didn't think, you know what? I like this man. I think it might work out, but my kids need a roof. Oh yeah, she's not asking for jack diddly squat. She's just talking. How many BS cards did you hand out when you said that? Multiple times. I'm just talking. I'm just talking. So why do we know amounts? Why do we know amounts if you're just talking? Because all you could have said was, I let him borrow money and I needed the money and I'm stressed about it because he didn't pay me back. We wouldn't know amounts. We wouldn't know when the fact that it was your rent money. We wouldn't know that you needed it in a couple of days. And she kept saying, I got to figure out how to come up with it. Then eventually she said that I wrote down 500 that she gave him. So let's just say between 400 and $500. But you only need 250 for the rent? I think she thought of that number after the fact. Because she wanted to make it seem like her beg was less than what she needed. I personally think, no, she said that was half of her rent. Her rent is 500 for her and what, two or three of her kids to live there. That's still great. But I think that she probably only loaned him no more than $100. But she couldn't say that if she was asking for 250. She couldn't say, well, I only loaned him $50, but I need 250 for the rent. So it had to be higher than what she was asking for. And why are you walking around with a pew pew, man? But that's none of my business. And then when people were asking about what happened with her family, which she openly talked about, she had a mod say she doesn't want to talk about it. Pressure, pressure. What would you like to talk about in the box? What would you like to talk about? With what? Hey, what do you need help with? About mid? What's mid? Write a complete sentence, please. Something like that. Just because I'm not afraid, I'm going to let you come up. Come on. Let's see. We know it's a troll account, but
Questions about mod. I don't know how to use mod, and I'm wondering if you can help me.
what is mod?
You don't know what mod is? It's the people that's in your the comments.
I know what mods
And I don't know
are.
why your mods are being mean to me because I don't really know what's going on.
Okay, well, what were your questions that my mods would need to be mean to you
Like,
about?
I don't know why. Whenever I came in here, they were like, troll account, troll account. You could say it in the chat. They were saying all these things.
Okay, because when someone comes in with five people, it looks like a troll account. So how can I help
Girl,
you?
what?
Okay.
Girl, let me tell you something. You upside down motherfucking bitch. Girl, let me ugly ass motherfucker.
Do like do they think I care about that? You don't even know me. You don't even know what I look like, but I'm an ugly bitch. I will be one. Thank you. Good morning. Oh, maybe she didn't mean to. American girl? Yeah, she didn't mean to. Listen, she couldn't even articulate properly. Hold on, guys. Wait, y'all told me how to do this and then I forgot. Okay, there we go. You couldn't even articulate the sentence properly. And that is supposed to upset me? That's supposed to bother me? That's supposed to throw me off? We all knew it was a troll account that was only following 5 people, and you can't even articulate what you want. That chill, that was not 10. That was a negative 10. Girl, bye. She thought she ate with that. Girl, you're still starving. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So someone suggested to her that maybe she do DoorDash because remember her people made sure she had a working car, right? Facts disturbed one. And she said that she could only earn $200 because she's in the state of Ohio. So you know what I do? I do a little research. Oh wait, that's not right. So if you have, hold on, this isn't the first page. I was supposed to number the pages and I very quickly forgot. Hold on. Okay. If you are receiving supplemental security income, which is SSI, due to a disability in the state of Ohio, how much can you earn from employment and how does it impact your benefits? Depends on several factors. So here was the breakdown effective in 2025. We're getting reported. Should I restart? I mean, we're already at 4:35. Are you guys having a hard time hearing me? Okay, cool. So the maximum SSI benefit for an individual is $967 per month. So anybody in the state who only gets straight SSI, that's the maximum for this year. Now, that amount could be reduced based on your countable income, assets, and living situation. Oh, I did number them. Sorry, y'all. Okay. When I look at the photos, though, I can't see the number because I have it so low on the page. I was trying, though, y'all. Lord, this is going to be a difficult one, and I apologize. Oh, wait, let's see. So, wait, is that right? I hate this. I hate that when I download it, it doesn't do it in order. So, she said that Ohio was specific. Ohio does not offer a state supplement benefit like New York does. So 967 remains to be the upper limit. Yeah, keep it classy here or you'll get muted. And if you are disrespectful, you will get blocked. I don't play that. Yep, it's gone. She's no longer allowed to use it. So while working on SSI, you can earn and mostly keep your benefits. You can work and still receive SSI. The benefit decreases by about 50 cents for every dollar you earn after the exclusions, meaning you're still financially better off by working. I'm going to get to SSDI in a second. Let's see. What number is this? Okay. I'm getting there, y'all. Is this two? Yes, it is. So this is how earnings affect your SSI benefit. So the first $20 of any monthly income is excluded. So off the bat, you get to keep the first 20. And then for earned income, the first $65 is not counted. And then after that, 50% of the remainder is considered countable income. So in practice, after the $65, for every $2 you earn, your SSI is reduced by 1. Good morning. Y'all see play action. Good morning. SSI work incentives can help. So the first one is about being a student. If you have disability related costs for working, those can also be counted. So the substantial gainful activity thresholds apply more to SSDI. It's worth noting that as of 2025, the SGI limit for non-blind individuals is $1,600, but that's for somebody on SSDI. And SSI works differently because it's focused on countable income rather than substantial gainful activity. Now, if you're receiving SSDI, which has limits based on how much money you have earned and how many credits you have gotten into Social Security, there's a trial work period that is unlimited. And it is counted based on any month that your income exceeds $1,160, which is the 2025 threshold. Okay? Then there's an extended period of eligibility. So after you use your TWP, which I believe is 9 months, you get a 36-month extended period. Well, the EPE is 36 months. So you will still receive your benefits for months when your countable earnings stay below the GA, which is $1,620 a month. If you're blind, it's $2,700. So if your countable earnings exceed $1,620, your benefits for that month will be suspended. A lot of people on SSDI don't even get 1,600. Okay, I did that one. Sorry. So this is the summary table for somebody on SSI. So the maximum you can get, and in the state of Ohio, there is no additional money given. You get $967. When you start making income, the first 20 is excluded, but then after that, it's $65 and then 50% of any of the remaining earned income not counted. So for every dollar you make after the 65, you pay 50 cents on the dollar. That is how it is calculated. For someone on SSDI, I chose to use the chart. So during the trial work period, you can have an unlimited amount of income. And it's in any 9 month period that you have a month where you have exceeded the 1,600, that is when you fall into the category of the extended period of eligibility. And then the max is $1,620. Any amount over that will affect your SSDI. So her saying that the most she can earn in the state of Ohio is $200 is a blatant lie. It is a lie. Now, what it could be is that when she starts earning a certain amount, she will have to start paying taxes. But she is lying that it will affect her Social Security. And I did it both ways. I did SSI and SSDI because I don't want anybody to be like, well, she has SSI, not SSDI, or the reverse. No. Jalen said it. Let me go back to her photo so people aren't confused. This is who said it. So when she says she can't do DoorDash in the car that her supporters already made sure she got, she's lying to you. And Jalen, go ahead and run to Just Stop already. It's not going to make a difference. I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't care who you think is protecting you. Nobody can tell me what to say or do on this page because it's mine. And she can't refute the facts. So go ahead and go tell on me. The facts are the facts. You lied to the people in your audience. No, not Just Stop already. Who is it? Did I say Just Stop already? No, who is it? Wait a minute. I wrote it down. Don't worry. I wrote it down. Sorry if I said Just Stop already. That's not who it is. It is not JSA. I apologize. Truth about you. That exactly right. Truth about you. Because it's Just Stop already and Truth about you, it rings the same to me. So Truth about you, not JSA. Let me make a public service announcement. JSA is not Jalen's supporter. It's Truth about you, who she runs to every time I say something. And she'll be like, that bitch Digital was talking about me. What did I do? And Truth has said to her, I am not a bully, but I am going to keep it a buck. I am going to keep it a buck. And you lied to people last night. Exactly. Somebody going to be like, she said you. JSA, I apologize. But I'm going to keep it a buck. And so after you wouldn't tell anybody why how much you gave him, suddenly it became $500 and you were comfortable saying that, and he also stole your pew pew. And when people are like, "Well, did you go to the police?" Oh, they're not going to do anything because they're going to say it's my fault that I gave him a loan. A verbal contract still stands. And she's like, "Well, he's not going to show up at court." Well, then you win. Then it's, well, he's not going to pay me. So what? At least you are proving to your audience that you're serious about it and that it happened. Isn't it convenient that you won't do anything to prove that it happened, but I still need $250 and I have to figure it out? But don't worry, I'm not asking. Correct, Nikki Lynn. I'm not asking. I'm just here talking. If that wasn't the dry beg of the century, what do you mean? You can say that all you like. But I promise you. And then there was somebody in the comments who literally said, she won't ask, but if any of us can help her, that's all she needs to do. She doesn't have to actually say, I need the money. Somebody else will say it for her. And then she could what? I wasn't asking, but thank you. Thank you for taking care of this for me because you know that me and my kids need a place to stay. Do you honestly think she was crying with no tears? That's their favorite thing in the world to do. Do you think Truth About You was going to be like, that was a good decision? You gave him $500, which 250 apparently was part of your rent. How are you going to pay the insurance on your car, boo? How are you going to feed your family? I know her kids are grown. But that was the line she used. And he knows that it's not just going to be me that's homeless, but my kids too. So why would you give money that would put you and your kids in that situation? And why, when people initially asked you how much it was, you were like, I'm not going to say. But then it was either $400 or $500. You've never seen her before. Well, she used to be way worse. And what's crazy is I used to watch her and I never saw the scammer part. Other people were like, she is, she is, she is. But I don't talk about anybody until I find the scam myself. I don't take anybody's word for it. If I haven't watched it myself, I'm not talking about it. But then when she was moving out of where she was to where she is now, and she left cats and dogs behind to fend for themselves, it's up for there from there with me. It's up from there. And people had to come by behind you and rescue them, and you wanted to be like, oh, I didn't really do that, but yes, you did. You even said, I went back a few days later with kittens locked in a closet. I'm glad Truth About You did. And then it was where she was living, the landlord who is the person's mother up the rent, so she needed that. Then she got money to get the car, got the car, needed a part, she got that. Then she needed to pay the person who fixed the car, so she got that. And now we're back to needing money for the rent because she let some guy she just started dating 2 weeks ago $500. And people are like, you're so kind-hearted. That's just plain stupid. That's not kind-hearted, that's stupid. But again, she had to think quick on her feet because she couldn't say, "Oh, I loaned him 100, but I need 250," or "I loaned him 75 and I need 250." That's why she wouldn't tell the amount. And that she had time to think about it, because when I tell you that watching her last night was so freaking annoying, she would be like, "I'm never trusting men again," wiping her face. Never again. How long y'all think before there's a new man? But anyway, she's like, I'm just, I'm just too trusting. And then silence. Silence. And then, of course, the people in the comments, well, how much was it? Well, how much do you need? And I got to pay my rent in a few days, and I got to come up with $250. And then silence. It was such a hard watch. But I'm going to come to y'all with the facts of the matter, so I stuck with it. Yeah, you could hear crickets. Ha! The Grammy. She wants to be an EGOT. What is that? The Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, and the Tony? Yeah, she wants all that. She wants all that. Where'd you get the money to give him if it was really 500? And how are you going to figure it out all by yourself? I'm waiting. But the people will send her the money and she'll be so thankful. By the way, congratulations on losing 70 pounds. That is a huge accomplishment. I will not take that away from you. But at your big age, if you're stupid enough to give somebody your rent money, that's not kind hearted. That's stupid. And I said what I said. So go send truth after me. Stop lying to people about stuff that's provable. Thank you. Happy Friday, Granny Annie. Stop lying to people about stuff that's provable. You absolutely can work. It doesn't matter which one you get, SSI or SSDI. You can drive, you can roll around in the hay, you can do anything else you want to do. Get a job. Yeah, they act like they research everything, but what's the truth of the matter is, she was like, "Oh, I know that because of TikTok." No, what you would know from TikTok is that at a certain amount, you have to start paying taxes. That has nothing to do with how much you can earn. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, was her being on last night and her needing $250, but telling everybody that she needed to figure out she wasn't asking them. Whatever you say. You can say it was 500, and I'm going to say to you, and you can go out and do DoorDash and Uber Eats and everything else with your grown children. You can't get out and deliver the groceries, they can. Right. It was just a man a few weeks ago. And this man kept up for her. And so you gave him $500 because he told your son to sit down and shut up. I don't know if that's what it is. I'm making it that part of it up. But she said he stood up for her against her son. No, different guy, according to her. Correct. Try. Ladybug, the question of the century. The question of the century. Why would you give anybody money that you can't afford to loan? So today she'll be saying, that bitch digital. I will be all the bitches you need me to be, my dear. That does not affect me in any way. I know a lot of people be like, he called me out my name. I don't care. And I'm calling you a liar. I'd rather be a bitch than a liar. Any day of the week. Next. I don't believe they were on yesterday, but on, was it Wednesday evening? Boy, did we come up with a new one. Yes, everybody tap tap tap. I've changed the I changed the photo. Was he on one on Wednesday night or what? Right on. We need some help tonight. And they are so stressed out. How are you stressed out by your own bad decisions? And then he said things are continuing to get complicated. You know what you proved, Timothy? That you do not know how to abide by your obligations. And then when people or companies are like, yeah, we want what's ours, you act like they did you a disservice. If they block you, go watch them on YouTube. If you Scam Slam or Nookie has them. Don't worry about getting blocked. You'll be able to watch it. And a lot of people stream them on TikTok while they're live too. Don't worry about getting blocked. You're not missing anything great. But what I will say is, why are your mods out researching any and everybody that comes into your chat? I don't care. I don't care that people don't like what I do. I don't care that people report my page. I I'm gonna be who I am. But I think when you're standing on the right side of history, it's a whole lot easier. We're supposed to mind our business, but your mods can track down. I don't know if Nikki is a guy. I thought, yeah, Nikki is a guy. Nikki is a guy. But you want us to mind our business. Correct, Ladybug. The right side of logic and common sense. Then he accuses somebody of something in his comments, but provides no proof. Tim, that's becoming a habit of yours. Then it was, well, I knew I saw it. Keep your mouth shut unless you can provide the proof, okay? You look bad when you claim you have something that you don't. And I'm going to need you to stop saying awareness got you fired. Prove it or stop it. It sounds good. But again, you are placing a jacket on awareness at large when we don't know if the person who quote unquote called McDonald's to say that you were begging outside. Matter of fact, that was a Facebook post. How do you know that they have any link to awareness at all? The people in the town you live in don't like you. But it's convenient that it was that he was begging outside of McDonald's. Do you think that McDonald's wouldn't have been able to see that? They got cameras everywhere. So when he realized that that story wouldn't sound good, he then said that the reason why they were fired, both of them, was because people in awareness kept calling from TikTok. His words. And I challenged him to post the letter. And of course, that's his private business because you know you're lying. And so then he said that today snowballed. And I asked the question, what could have snowballed in 24 hours? So then he said, well, we don't get paid. I don't get paid until next Friday. But what did he do? He borrowed money again. But this time, it wasn't a person he could ignore. It was his Cash App. This isn't a person you could just block and ignore and act like they don't exist. And he said that he failed to make all the payments on time. Doesn't that sound like a reputation of yours, Tim? That you borrow money, make a promise to pay by a certain time, and then fail to do it? But Cash App won't be ignored. You can't block Cash App. You can't block Cash App. So Cash App said, well, oh, okay. Well, if you're going to miss the payment deadline, what we're going to do is every time you get a cent, we're going to take it. And so how he found out, because he effed around and found out, how he found out was that somebody was kind enough to send him $5 to get coffee before work. Did you even bother to ask? Because he said that they have snacks in the break room. They could also have a coffee pot in the break room. But no, you want to continue to send them their money because you're trying to curry favor. I don't know what. He would have been better off getting the $5 for the room, but I digress. And guess what? He went to go get that coffee. Card denied. Card denied. Cash App said, yeah, before you get anything, we're going to get ours. But he had so much money coming in and out of that account that Cash App was like, oh, okay, well, he's getting good money. Let's let him borrow a little bit. And they gave him, what, $60 to borrow? And when you borrow from Cash App, it's a very simple process. They say to you, we'll give you 60 and you owe us 65. They don't even ask for a lot. 65. But they want it now, and they even give you multiple ways to pay it. You could pay it every week. You could pay it at the end of the month. Like they literally give you an entire month to pay it. Or every time you get money, they can take a portion. You get to choose. But of course, the deadline came and went. Uh-oh, I done lost my page. The deadline came and went, and according to you, you didn't pay it. Now, my question is this. Did you think Cash App was like the people on the street that you could ignore? Or because if you knew you owed it, why didn't you ask your people for it? Right, Willow? I have a borrowing amount with Cash App. And believe me, it's a whole lot more than $60. A whole lot more. But when it was due, why didn't you think, let me ask my people? No, no. You must have thought that you could just ignore Cash App like you did the woman that you owe money. And then when you get around to paying it, Cash App will accept it. No, sir. No, no, sir. Even if you pay it early, you got to pay the fee. Straight fee. But now that you've gone past it, they've probably added interest, which is why it became $69. And when he got the $5 for his coffee, it was 64. So Wednesday night, he not only needed the 90, but he also needed 64. And then he needed a calculator to do the math, $154. You needed a calculator to figure out 90 plus 64 is 154. And then at one point he was like, I'm flustered, guys. There's so many comments. I need a moment. He's another one that wants the EGOT. Yeah, he got it. But my question is, you got it, and then the next day you didn't need to come and ask for another 90? That's interesting. You got $154 quickly, mind you, because he was acting in complete distress. And Ron, are you going to run out of money? Oh, thank you. Thank you. You got secondhand embarrassment for the dog. You got the $154 Wednesday night. He was off Thursday and Friday now. And you didn't need to beg Thursday or Friday? That seems suspicious. Ron, what's your limit, buddy? Because if you don't have one, I got a bridge to sell you. I'll even let you in the box to say whatever you want to say if you don't have a limit. Because that doesn't make sense. Ron, why are you funding another grown man? Who knows? We never seen them walk the dog. Who knows? But she don't got nothing else to do, so why not? She can't stay out there long. But her face looks like she was laying in the sun. But I digress. Right, Ron is gonna be staying in the room. He won't even be next door. He'll be in the room with them. And they'll still be like, Ron, don't you get a check? We need some of that money. He has a job, according to him. And I'm gonna reserve judgment. We'll see next Friday if he has a job or not. You're right, Jennifer. Ron is RoboCop, by the way. So I'm sure he'll be on soon. I'm sure he's begging behind the scenes. Well, because Steve is her. Steve is her. And we clocked that T. And so now we don't want to come around here. Because unless Steve is willing to get in the box and prove that he's not her, I want nothing to do with it. And since we now have the policy that we ignore Steve Crick because it's her, why would you come here? For what? They no longer have any need. They're listening because he'll go off and say that digital blah blah blah, and he'll try to wrap me around the other nonsense that people are doing in his name. But you can't, sir, because the people who listen to me know the truth, and your mods, who I'm sure are also listening to me, also know the truth. I don't have to make up a thing. I just have to talk about the ridiculousness of what you do and what you say. I don't have to make up a thing. So go ahead and try to say, oh, it was me. It was digital. It was digital. It was digital. You use my name because it's resounding. You try to take me down by saying my name in connection to nonsense you know I would never do. The same way he said that I was the one that called his hotel room. Be for real. I'm not that desperate for content, sir. There are 30 other scammers I could talk about. I would never need to call a hotel room. I'm not calling around looking for you. I'm not finding out where you work. None of it. For what? You think I don't have enough to do already? Just watching you and your nonsense? That I'm gonna go look like, be for real. I don't track my man that closely. I'm gonna track somebody else? Jody, I say that all the time. I should have gone to school to be a lawyer. Because I'm great at arguing. Ask the man. I'm not tracking down a single person on TikTok. Now, if somebody else does, that's their business. But don't put me in it. But you want people to see me as disingenuous, see me as a liar, see me as somebody who would go real life. So when you talk about other people doing it, you add the and digital too. And I'm glad you do because I know it encourages your people to watch me. And hello to everybody watching me from the window. Appreciate it. You might learn something today. Stick around. Come back on Monday. I'll be here. And if you're feeling froggy, subscribe. I'll see you every Sunday night at 7. Facts, sweet sassy. Why would she change? Her life is being taken care of. Like I said, instead of being Steve Crick in my live, why don't you go live and do a makeup tutorial and beg for the night so your husband doesn't have to get off work and do it for you? Oh, thank you, Gizmo. But you can try to put me in a lot of categories. The people who truly know what I do, no, that would never be me. That would never be me. Picture me tracking you down. Ah, I got better things to do than to do that. So they'll be back. Oh, and then I loved how Angela doesn't want to be seen today, but she wants your $154. Bitch, please. Oh, I'm too flushed to be seen today. Why? Because people were questioning whether or not you were laying out at a pool all day? So you don't want to be seen? Because you don't want people to see that you got a tan? What is it? Oh, you don't have makeup on. Girl, get over it. But you want people's money every day. Picture that. Picture me sending money to somebody and being like, oh, I want to say hello to her. Oh, she doesn't feel like it today. She doesn't want to be seen today. But please send in that $154 so that she's comfortable tomorrow. Because he never says it for himself. It's for her to be comfortable the next day. Picture that. Correct, Japonica. That's why Steve Crick has no reason to be in here. Because I'm a clocker every time. But I'm sure she's watching. Did you text your husband and tell him, oh, she's talking about us again? Message. I'll stop when you do. Did you hear that loud and clear? Mod, send that message. I'll stop when you do. Why would you get up when you know it's gonna get paid for? I just love it when they torture them and make them wait. I find that to be hilarious. Oop, oop. Ask again, Jody. I hit the wrong button. We might go over, but it won't be long, guys. I promise. Somebody asked to come up and I hit the wrong button. Somebody asked to come up and I hit the wrong button. Jody, if you want to come up, hit it again. Unless it was a mistake. Correct. If you want her to be a stay-at-home wife to your fur baby, get another job. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to find, because I've been taking notes on this person for a minute. We are back at it with this one. We are back at it with this one. So, post live. She had 12 people in her live and 7 mods. Yeah, you know her live and 7 mods. Yeah, you know something is wrong when there are more mods than there are viewers. And then started modding people. You are that afraid of the comments? And I got blocked for simple questions yesterday. Very simple questions. So let's go back. They do their famous, anyone not tapping or talking is going to get blocked. Why do you need that much control over your viewers? That is not an AI photo. You can go to her page and see it. That is not an AI photo. I do not use AI photos. If I don't catch them live, I go to their page and just take a screenshot of a picture they did or a video. I'm not sure if this came from a video or just a regular picture. It might be a regular picture. Yeah, they block anybody. They they will look at your name and be like, I don't feel comfortable, blocked. As if I can't make 3,000 accounts. And when they're like, they'll make all these accounts to watch us. They must love us. If you stopped blocking me, I wouldn't. Why do you block digital? I'm going to talk about you anyway. So you might as well unblock me. Blocking me is not going to save a single person. But if you can come online and beg every day for something, I can make 3,000 accounts. Let's be fair. If you're going to block me, I can make another account. And it's not because I love you. It is because I am trying to warn people about you. And because I don't go real life, the only way I get to know what's going on is to watch, right? And clock the lie after lie. And boy, do I have a good one today. Then one of her enablers named Jordan said, "Who cares if people send you money? It's not their money." And she was like, "You are correct. It's not their money." Honey, all I can say, and nor would it ever be. Nor would it ever be my money. Now, let me make a disclaimer. I believe she is a domestic abuse victim, and I believe that Caden is her abuser. But I don't appreciate her using that to trauma bond with people who have gone through it while she remains with her abuser. Period. It's a slap in the face. And I believe that she is at the DV shelter because she has nowhere else to go. They couldn't stay together in a regular shelter anyway because they're not married. And it is a way to look like they're not together so she can keep getting funds. But she self admits that they're still talking. And I think her walking around the city like she don't got nothing to do because she has nothing to do is her looking for him because he's in the shelter somewhere else. And she's like, if he doesn't get there by 2:30, then he can't get in the boo. Why do you care? You are finally away from your abuser. Why did you go in and spend 4 hours at DSS to re up your EBT and Medicaid to have him as your dependent? He is old enough to get his own. So why did you have to put him on yours? She always wants to have a link because in her mind, she's his caregiver. He's 20 now, boo. If he needs a mother, tell him to go home to his mother. And if he doesn't have a mother, go to an aunt. You're not his caregiver. He is not your dependent. You are not married. And if you are, show the marriage certificate. A real one, not one you got off the internet. If you can walk around the city all day, why can't you get a job? The DV shelter isn't holding you in place. And oh, TikTok is the job? Okay. Well, when TikTok can pay all your bills, then it becomes a job. Otherwise, it's a hobby. And half the time, it's not TikTok paying you, it's your enablers. So, no, TikTok is not your job. Begging is your job. Lying to your audience is your job. Blocking any question that would make any sense is your mod's job. But no, TikTok is not your job. So yesterday, she'll just go to another app. She'll just go to another app. She's in Illinois. And she claims that someone doxed her DV location. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's a step too far. In your eagerness, if it happened, in your eagerness to expose her, you are exposing legitimate people who are in DV situations. And there is no amount of clocking her that would make me put other people at risk. She's not really at risk. He knows exactly where she is. They talk all the time, or they talk whenever he makes himself available to talk. Is more like it. I would never. But why would anybody else? But it sounds good to say that. It sounds real good to say that. So let's start with the raising the oops, sorry guys. Let's start with the raising the consciousness. Okay? And by the way, if you're not a member of the team, join the team. Hit the daily heart me. Because you're obviously here enjoying it. And this is what I do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at about 6:30 in the morning. I'm consistent. You don't have to wonder when I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if I'm not here by 6:35, go to my account and see if there's something posted. I try to post it the day before, unless something comes up. And if not, you can ask the mods, because I would definitely put it in the mod chat. All right. So let's start with the. She brought it up yesterday, so I feel at liberty to discuss. She started rubbing her belly and like showing her belly like she's pregnant. And then said, I heard that they say that I had a hysterectomy. I just had my tubes, I can't remember if she said tied or clipped or whatever. But let's talk about it. I wouldn't doubt it. She'll do anything. She doesn't care. Her tubes are tied. For any men in here, you just gonna have to bear with me, but it will still be educational. Okay? I promise. So, to prevent pregnancy, doctors perform a tubal ligation, which involves blocking or sealing the fallopian tubes, and that's the two things on the right that look like upside down U's. One on the left, one on the right. They can seal them or they can remove the tubes entirely through whatever that is. Salpinectomy, whatever. The tubal ligation is a permanent form of birth control that can be achieved by using clips, bands, or cauterization to block the tube. The tubal removal, the fallopian tube removal is a more definitive procedure where the tubes are either partially or completely removed. Okay? That's what she said she had. These are the options for a tubal ligation. The cauterization literally cuts them apart and burns the ends. They can be tied and cut, or they can be banded or clipped. I think I have one more. Here's another one that shows female sterilization. Mainly petty, what did you say, honey? Mainly petty, what did you say, honey? I bet she is. About it. Yeah, she showed an ovulation test. Wait, what did you say? Her tubes are removed? I don't know. She didn't say her tubes are removed. I don't know. She didn't say that yesterday. But I'm just going through it. Hello, good morning. I'm just going through the process. Hello, good morning. I'm just going through the process. I don't care what it is. She said she had her tubes dealt with. I am going to educate people on that. So you can see it being clipped. Yes, she said that getting your tubes dealt with can be called a partial hysterectomy, but when people hear partial hysterectomy, they think more is done. It's not necessarily the case. A doctor may still call this a partial hysterectomy, although they don't. They call it a tubal ligation because they've left everything else. But she could say it. Yeah, I know. I know about the cousin. It's Scammer Alert 81. So the procedure involves blocking. So the procedure involves blocking the fallopian tubes to prevent eggs from traveling to the uterus and sperm reaching the eggs. It can be done through various methods, and I showed them. It's considered highly effective and a permanent form of birth control. While it is often referred to as getting your tubes tied, the tubes aren't actually tied. They're blocked or sealed using one of the methods. It can be performed in a hospital or an outpatient clinic setting. It only takes about 30 minutes, and most women could go home on the same day. And while it is considered permanent, tubal ligation can sometimes be reversed through surgery. It can also be reversed naturally. But we're going to talk about that. While tubal ligation is a highly effective method of permanent birth control, there is a small chance of pregnancy occurring naturally after the procedure. But the pregnancy rates after tubal ligation are typically well under 1%. Not even 1%, well under 1%. So I'm not going to go through that part, but the effectiveness of tubal ligation is generally affected with an estimated 99% success rate in preventing pregnancies. Okay? Now, what usually happens when a person has a tubal ligation and they end up pregnant is this: they end up with an ectopic pregnancy. Where the fertilized egg implants outside the uterus, usually in the fallopian tube. Why? Because the fallopian tube is blocked and it requires an immediate medical procedure. Some women, including a cousin of mine, have had a baby through an ectopic pregnancy. It happens. It's happened around. I'm lagging really bad. Okay, hold on. Oh, because I'm getting reported by her people. Oh,
Oh,
Jack, I
it
did it
is.
again. Let's see if that helps. But we almost at the end. I don't already clocked the T. Yes, tap the live. What you gonna do? Get me taken down now? Like, be for real. By the way, this is my backup account. If you didn't follow it earlier, you can follow it now. If we ever do get taken down, that's where we're going. But I have managed to not have any, I don't have any strikes on my account at all. And I've gotten some warnings. Thank you, Julie. Okay, Karina, I won't forget. Thank you for reminding me though, because I did forget. So it's not everybody, and there is a less than 1% chance that it could reverse itself naturally. But what's the likelihood? What's the likelihood? So, girl, I don't believe you. You used an ovulation test to prove you were pregnant, and because you're dealing with the child, he don't know the difference. Did you think that it was gonna make him not knock your head from one side of the wall to the other? Well, clearly that's not true. And do you think showing your belly is going to prove to people that you're pregnant? Girl, I need a paper from a clinic where we saw you go in. I want a blood test. Matter of fact, I want a blood test from um LabCorp. Of course she's not pregnant. He does abuse her. Absolutely. And she takes it, and she has told us that she doesn't care what he does to her, she's not leaving. So why are you in a DV shelter? Why are you taking a spot that a woman could use who really is running? So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but somehow she needed money to get a phone with service because the iPhone she has now is only Wi-Fi. You, girl, you walk around the city with that phone. You stay in a Wi-Fi area, and there are cities where the entire downtown has coverage. Where I worked in Connecticut, no matter where you were downtown, there was coverage, and it pissed the hotels off because you didn't have to use the hotel Wi-Fi. It pissed them off so bad. So she claims, or her mods claim, she needed it for safety. Safety from what? She knows the cousin that's following her around. She knows who it is. She likes it because it gives her sympathy, because she could deal with it. She could walk right up to her and be like, what the F are you doing? She could call the cops. She knows exactly who's following her around. And she knows they're not gonna do anything. And if you're not gonna leave Caden, what do you need safety from exactly? And most phones, even without service, you can dial 911. No, that's her man that knocks her head between the washer and the wall. If someone sent $5.63, I almost died. Mind you, then she was like, I need a cheap phone from Walmart. Her bestie Lauren, who is her biggest enabler, sent her in an Uber. And when she got to the Walmart, she was still short $15. Again, the audacity to think that you could stand in line, tell the woman at the counter to go through the process when you still needed $15 and you're looking at the screen. I still need 15, guys. I still need 15. Come on, guys. I need 15. What? You talking about being embarrassed? Let me tell y'all something. If I'm in line and I use the wrong card and they're like, it was denied, I'm embarrassed. And you mean to tell me I'm going to go to the store when I know I don't have the money, go to the counter, tell the woman to go through the process of getting all of my personal information and I don't have the money? You got to be kidding me. But I'm going to be honest. Then, sorry, before I move on, then so she stopped communicating and was typing. She actually typed in a woman, she added a woman named Sheila and said, "Could you help with 15 for the phone?" What? So you're not even waiting for people to decide that that's what they want to do. And this is what's crazy. Had she maybe taken the bus, the money Lauren gave her to pay for the Uber might have helped. You might have only needed $5. But no, you needed an Uber there. Okay. She was making sad faces, making faces like she was gonna cry, making faces like, oh my God, if I don't get this, guys, I'm not gonna be safe. And then I started to question myself, why does she really need another phone? Why does she really need another phone? And you know what I've determined, and this is my opinion, that phone was for Kaden. She doesn't need it to beg. She begs just fine. That phone would have been in Caden's hands in less than a week. And you know why? Because he doesn't make sure he's in Wi Fi. So she can't always just call him and keep track of him. Correct, Ladybug. But since they both have medical, they could have a government phone. Or they have any benefit at all, you could get a government phone. But because he doesn't have his own account, together they can only have, there's only one phone per household. But if he had his own account with DSS, he could get a phone and she could get a phone. American Girl, I'm going to assume that was a mistake like last time. In my opinion, that phone is for Kaden because she wants to be able to keep track of him, not the other way around. Right. And she's talking about, I probably still have a job at McDonald's. I just need to call. So why haven't you called? Why haven't you called? Because she applied for them on her account. She has him listed as her dependent. Her mods and enablers are some of the weirdest people I have ever come across. So let's see, when did I get blocked? This is the other question I have. Why do they feel like because somebody has supported you in the past that they have unlimited resources to meet whatever need you have when you have it? Really, Nikki? Because I thought she was at a cooling center, which I assumed was also the library. How is that possible when they are separated? Separated by what? That they're across town from each other? They were just together. What was that? Tuesday? When she said she wasn't even in Peoria anymore? Right, lazy days. Would y'all think I just make this up? I just do it to kick her around? Oh, now she's saying she's back in the hospital. She uses the hospital like somebody else uses the bathroom. And oh, let me correct something else. She said something about it's a good thing she didn't need the hospital or the doctor for her psych meds because she didn't have insurance. Let me tell you how it works. If you have a bill that you created that at a time when you should have had coverage, they will go back and pay for it. Yes, you can, Fruit Loops. Especially if you're in your own room, you can go live from the hospital. Oh, he is? I have to catch the replay. So let's see. So then I asked while she was at the store, doesn't she still have the travel money? Because if you remember, when they were supposed to leave and suddenly they found out he needed permission from his probation officer, she was like, we have the money, we're saving the money, we're not using the money. Anybody remember that? So I just said, well, doesn't she still have the travel money? And her mom said, what travel money? And I said, the money from when they were supposed to leave the state. Muted and blocked. Why? Why would you mute and block that? I didn't say anything wrong. I wasn't rude. I wasn't nasty. I wasn't lying. I was asking a question. All she had to say was, we spent that money, or I still have it, but I'm saving it for that. Why? She didn't even get to see it, and her mod muted and blocked me. What did you gain by doing that? Because you asked the question. So anybody who's been watching for any length of time knows exactly what I was talking about. Jen, I'm sorry, and she's quick to do that. Especially if she doesn't see you becoming a long time giver. Because she doesn't want anybody in there that could tell the truth about what giving to her results in. What you blocked me for? I only asked a question, a legitimate one. That's it. And why don't you let her answer the question? Correct, Fruit Loops. That's what the first thing she says when she comes live. And she says it throughout the live. What are you afraid of? I thought your goal was to go viral on TikTok. Why are you afraid of people being in your live and watching? If TikTok is your job, why are you blocking so many people? You think she's not going to be at 30,000, no, 10,000 soon? She acts like we can't watch from the window. She acts like we can't watch other people streaming her live. And that's who they're looking for. So they block everybody thinking we're going to find them. Girl, bye. There isn't enough mods to block enough accounts that's ever going to stop me from being able to watch you. So if you don't care, unblock me. I'ma still talk about you regardless. All of y'all. So be block happy. It's not gonna make a difference. So she ended up having to walk out of there without that phone. And when she got to where she was going, she was like, I don't care. It's no big deal. It was a big deal while you was standing there. It was a big deal to your mind that you needed it for your safety. So how is it not a big deal now? No, she doesn't. So was it a big deal or did you just want it? And if it wasn't for your safety, what was it for? Well, I tell you what I think it was for. It was for Caden so she could keep track of Caden. Period. And my question is this: what shelter do you get to leave at the crack of dawn that you don't have to be back until nighttime? Is it really a DV shelter? Because that's what regular shelters do. They kick you out in the morning and you can't come back until evening. Or a hotel. Facts upon facts. Jen, never do that. I don't care who it is. If it is not their personal account, a cat like Cash App, Venmo, whatever it is, don't send it. Correct, Kelly Gibbons. So you're walking around the city. You pretend to be afraid of your cousin by marriage because she's following you around. You claim to be afraid of Kaden, but you are freely walking around in the very spots that he knows he can find you. Make it make sense. She's not afraid at all. She's already told us she's not leaving him because she's quote unquote his caregiver. Then she's gotten her gifts back. How many times, if anybody was watching, did she say, I'm so happy I got my gifts back? Every time somebody she knew came in, guess what? I got my gifts back. I'm not saying you have to give me my gifts, but I just want y'all to know I got my gifts back. If they don't have to give it, why are you bringing it up? You think I can't see when I go into a live that gifts are available or not? I don't need you to tell me. Digital marketing, Dana. I'm sorry that you have digital in your name. And digital princess. I'm so sorry because I know people are like digital. And then why did she put sunglasses on inside? Was she trying to pretend like she was crying? Listen, when you come here, you're going to hear my thoughts, my opinions, my conclusions based on what I see them say and do on TikTok. I'm also going to raise your consciousness about things that they say that are provable to be true or not. And then I leave it up to you to decide. You're adults, it's your money. You do what you want with it. But when you realize the truth, come over here and say, Digital, you know you told the truth. That's all. I appreciate everybody being here. I really do. Y'all been with me. I think we've gone live quite a bit, except for last Friday. I think we've done 3 weeks, except for last Friday. I'm proud of us. And I've been getting the live up by that very evening. Of course not. So if you missed any part of it, if you missed all of it, you can always go to my YouTube channel, Digital Deceiver Shadow, all one word. I also post the link once it's up and live, and I have created playlists so that all you have to do is go to the month of August and you will find the live, and they're all dated, by the way. If you haven't, go follow me over there. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the fact that you get up as early as you do. I know some of you are getting up as early as 3:30. And if I didn't think I had any support, that tells me everything I need to know. If you haven't followed me, do. If you haven't joined the team, do. You guys are what gets me to get up every day and do it. Because sometimes I am sick of them. Thank you, Jen. I so appreciate from the time I get off now until Sunday, I can actually rest because I have 2.5 days to get ready for Monday morning. It's the Wednesday and Friday that kills me. I appreciate it. And I hope you learned something. Cause that's the goal. It's not to quote unquote bash them, although that happens. Cause I'm clocking their tea. I'm exposing them for the liars that they are. I hope you learned something, and I hope you feel better about your decisions when you leave than when you came in the door. Oh wait, Karina, can you come up and tell us the amount of Zimonique and what's her name? She did the calculations for us, guys.
Okay, here's the fun. Zimonique's total Amazon wish list: $2,643.56.
Wow.
And Miss
Wow.
Cody's
That's right. Cody Saint Sin.
$5,539.73.
Now, Cody's is her back to school wish list.
Yep.
Zimonique has moved into a huge house after begging people for money to feed her children and is now getting a wish list for all the things that she needs in her apartment. I mean, in her house. Make it make sense.
Cody's took me almost 2.5 hours to add up.
Wow. Kathleen, did you mean to request? Because I don't want to add you if it was a mistake. Karina, I appreciate your time and your effort. I really do. Thank you so much.
It was like with Cody's, it was like a 2 hour, like 2.5, because I had to split everything like in sections.
No, these are their Amazon wish list amounts. And they could say, well, it's just a wish list. No, you put it there because you wanted it. Why would you put stuff there that you didn't want or didn't need in your mind? A wish list isn't meant for your every single desire, especially not when you're asking people to buy stuff off of it. My niece was telling me there's a couple getting married and they wanted like 10 sets of towels. It is just the two of you. Yes, thank you, Karina, for
It took
taking
me
the
a while,
time.
even though I was at work with the husband yesterday. So it took me, well, technically I did Cody's on Wednesday because that was 2.5. Then I did Zimonique's yesterday at work. I'm like, oh, damn. Like, that's my paycheck right there. Like, that's my retirement money.
Exactly. Yes, she did a fantastic job. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for your help.
Yes. If you ever need me to add up anyone else's Amazon's wish list, send me all the names and I need to keep a binder of everyone's names on Amazon wish list.
Yeah. And by the way, Cody's is down $2,000 because it was 7,100. So
Yeah.
did she get it or did she take stuff off the list?
I think it looks like she took some of the stuff off because I went through a fine-tooth comb on that Amazon wish list and it looks like nobody has purchased anything because I was trying to find one-on-one, but look, some of them could be like not available or out of stock.
Right. But she didn't there's not $2,000 worth of stuff out of stock or $2,000 worth of stuff that people purchased. She took it off thinking, "Oh, Zim's goal the other day was 450." Wow. Wow. I'm sorry I didn't leave a lot of time for open mic. There's just so much information I want to share with you guys. I will try to make sure that there's some open mic next week if I have to drop two people from the list so that you guys can sound off because your voices are equally as important as mine.
Oh, and I did send you a screenshot of the both amounts to your to your message on Discord.
Okay. I appreciate it. Well, I'm going to end the live here, guys.
Yeah, I gotta
Please.
go in the shop.
Okay. Have a great day, Karina. Enjoy your
You too,
weekend.
digital.
So please hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. Somebody didn't wake up this morning. So please be thankful for the people you still have in your life. And you know, I'm going to browbeat you to do self care. And I'm going to ask on Monday, did people do any self care over the weekend? It doesn't have to be a half hour. It doesn't, my goal is 15 minutes for you. 15 minutes. That's it. But if you can't do 15, do 10. If you can't do 10, do 5. If you can't do 5, do 1 minute. Where you take yourself away from everything that you are responsible for. Dinner can wait a minute. Putting your kids to bed can wait a minute. Doing your skincare can actually wait a minute while you stand there and you are quiet and silent to yourself. Whether it's affirmations, whether it's prayer, whether it's just silence. I want you guys to try anywhere you are that you can get quiet. And I want you to close your eyes and try to empty your mind of your thoughts. Megs, that's not good because if you fall apart, how will the people who depend on you survive? I saw Carol Sue's live, Willow. Close your eyes and try to empty your mind. And as women, you will have no idea how difficult that will be. What I want you to do is any thought that comes to your mind, put it on a cloud and let it float by until all you see is dead space. I envision being in space and the clouds go by until I can get to the blink. And I try to stay there as long as I can. Yes, Megs, that's good. Get in the bed at 10:59. If 11 is your bedtime, get in at 10:59 and do a moment of self-care. Correct, Kelly. Anything that is just for you. And I know women with children with responsibilities, whether you're business women, you are an entrepreneur, we will put all of that before giving ourselves a minute. And even doing things like getting your nails done, getting your hair done, doing your self-care is still another chore. It ends up being another responsibility. Well, we got a nail broke. We got to go get it fixed. Oh, well, I have a standing hair appointment every week. I mean, every Friday, every other Friday. I just want you to take a minute to yourself, for your own sanity. Again, I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tapping. You know, I don't care about the number at the end. We just care about not having to start over and reaching as many people as we possibly can. Everybody have a great afternoon. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. I will see all of the subs Sunday night at 7 p.m. And I'll see everybody else in the streets or Monday morning. And by the way, don't forget there's a Maggie Live tonight at 7 with All for One. And there's a TNA Live, which is Tim and Angela, at 8 p.m. with, who is it? Checkmate, I think they said. So go support the other people doing the good work. I appreciate you. I'm out.